Thumbs is. Do you have any background on him?
I know I apologize for that. I know he's newer to it, and looks like we're getting started. I guess if I had to pick, I'd pick RCS because he's consistently placing in the top three. And that's not to discredit the other runners. They're absolutely amazing. Just RCS has a bit more of an edge, I'd give him.
Okay, so we've got the town of Rauru, and in this new update, we've got hints from the townspeople. So that's why the players are stopping by in the houses to talk to people, and Error knows nothing, so he wasn't helpful. We're gonna see what the town of Rauru has for us. It is live, kind of expensive, but we are at Magic 1 level, so we'll see how cheap it gets with time. And the kid knows nothing.
So one of the newer features of the randomizer, it's been a few weeks now, but are the helpful hints, where randomly throughout each of the four of the towns, there will be a person that gives them a hint towards where an item is, if you're not familiar. And we have either Palace 3 or Palace 6. We won't know until they're able to dive into it.
Yeah, and Joe Bloody Thompson on Trophy Cave finds the raft. He's the first player to find the raft, but I guess the other players will follow suit soon.
And it appears JBT may be playing the wrong seed.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing in chat, so this will be interesting.
We've got JJ giving that Dyra the what for. Good for a quick attack level.
So yeah, I just told him in IRC. Let's see if anyone in chat can tell him in his stream.
So it looks like he is playing the wrong seed. He missed one of the numbers in there, but he is getting that fixed momentarily.
Meanwhile, JJ Smith is in the town of Mido. He's going to get his free spell because the spells are free in this seed.
And worth mentioning that does include getting the water for the gallon brew and the mirror in Saria.
Also, there's a bug that we have found that the magic container lady in New Kasuto lets you in however magic containers you have.
Okay, so we have switched over to trails in the meantime.
And he finds the flute. Wow. That's a very opportune switch to trails.
It looks like that would have been in Heart Container Cave. So Amazing Toaster decides to play in Death Mountain. A little bit early for that, in my opinion, but hey, whatever floats his boat.
Yeah, Amazing Toaster is an amazing nickname. But, well, I hope I don't pronounce your nickname wrong, Mr. Aristide Dupois. I hope that's the pronunciation, but your nickname is cool too. Okay, so Mr. V. Alan Heffley, the founder of the Max Rando tournament and manager of the new upcoming normal Zelda 2 Randomizer tournament, tells us that there was a hint that told the players that the glove is in Palace 4, so we have to keep that in mind.
It's a little bit of a nuisance unless they have reflect by the time they get in there, but it could be the case that they need to double dip in 4, go get the glove, which would allow them to get the reflect spell and then go back to complete the palace. See how that plays out.
So JJ Schmidt has Life Fairy and Jump, getting Fairy out of Rudo. So that's a good set of spells to start. You can even dare to explore some palaces with those spells.
Okay, so we have a couple questions in chat. Are locations scrambled as well? Yes, they are. Just about everything is randomized. Everything's going to be in a new place. Palaces can appear on either continent. And looks like the rest has been answered in chat. And then the basics. So Zelda 2, the basic idea is place all 6 gems, get to the Great Palace, defeat Thunderbird and Darklink.
And JJ Smith finding the real raft at Medicine Cave, so yeah, that's our first player with the raft. Let's see if he takes the dare to explore the east early, or if he does the traditional exploring of the west.
Trails comes across Mito, gonna get his down stab, and I already forgot what the spell in there was.
I believe it is jump, so he'll get jump and then his down stab.
Yeah, that does make sense, I suppose. Amazing Toaster over there by Palace City.
So, Amazing Toaster is in Fairy Cave trying to explore the rest of the continent, which we believe is blocked by one of these caves. But there are some red dairas that throw access at you, and they are very hard in the dark and with low ceilings, but he's dealt with them very good. So I believe we can cross to the other side. Let's see where that pass-through cave leads him.
And meanwhile, JJ Schmidt hops on into 1 with a nice blood red palette, picks himself up a 1-up.
So with the new updates, you can get some weird drops that you don't get on the vanilla game. Uh, one of those are the one-ups, and the other one that we've seen is that Trails picked some key from one of the enemies, so that doesn't happen in vanilla, but it happens in Randomizer, so that's new for you.
Trails finds Saria, the east side, the good side.
So we're
And
gonna find what
remember, he
the...
doesn't need the mirror.
Yeah, it isn't needed, so he's gonna get the last spell we know from the west, and it is Thunder. Wow, good spells in the west. So we've got a few questions in chat. One of the question is, what happens if you run out of lives? Well, you game over. However, if you were in a palace, you will restart at the start of the palace. If you are anywhere else, you'll restart to the North Palace, which is where Zelda is sleeping, waiting for you to wake her.
We do have Trails in Peabag Cave, about to pick up his item. And we've got the cross. And Amazing Toaster picks up his down stab, while we've got JJ Schmidt fighting Horsehead.
What item did Trails get from Peabag Cave? I didn't check.
He picked up the cross. So for those unfamiliar, the cross allows you to see one specific type of enemy that will be invisible unless you have the cross, and they only appear on the eastern continent. So it's very limited usefulness, but if you're going to find it, it's good to find it early.
Another question we've got in chat is, what sprite is JJ Schmidt using? He's using a sprite created by Jackimus, which is a very seasoned player of the Zelda 2 randomizer. And he says it is an Iron Knuckle, more inspired in like a Dark Knight from other Zelda games. It looks really cool, and the ending scene is very interesting.
And so we have Trails in Magic Container Cave. I believe we have the raft in there. That should be his last cave to explore on West.
And JJ Schmidt getting piggybacked in Palace 1, so he gets out of there. He already defeated the boss, which I haven't marked in the tracker.
Then another question in chat about an infinite XP glitch. Not that I'm aware of. So Amazing Toaster picks up his raft. And RCS gets jump and will be going to get down stab real shortly here. So how you can tell the difference between the palaces is palaces 1 and 4 will have the same pillars. Palace 4 will have a Moa flying around at the start, and that's how you differentiate those. Palace 2 and 5 have the same pillars as each other. Palace 2, when you stab the Iron Knuckle statue, will drop a red jar 100% of the time. Palace 5 will not drop anything. Now, Palace 3 and 6, you cannot tell until you dive in and find one of the unique rooms in either of them. They have the same pillar, same drops from the Iron Knuckle statue. It looks like RCS might be in Hammer Cave? Question mark.
Yeah, that is Hammer Cave. So let's see if he gets Dick Chook or awarded for making that adventure happen.
So it looks like JJ Schmidt is also right behind him, and I missed both of them hopping into Death Mountain. So must be pretty easy to access. And indeed it is. It's directly up from the entrance cave.
So it is a pivot, okay.
That is a shame. At least they're not going to be spending a whole lot of time to find that. So Amazing Toaster hops into the Great Palace. Quick update to reset his lives. Looks like JJ Schmidt was taking a brief nap, but he's back.
What do you think about caves in the dark? I don't find them that hard. To be honest, well, you just learn to run away from enemies in the dark, and you learn to see their feet in the ground, and yeah. But some people are very elusive to caves in the dark.
Yeah, I won't lie. I was very hesitant to do dark rooms when I first started. But after even just 2 or 3 seeds of them, you just get the feel for them. And they're really not that different. It sometimes gets to the point where, I don't care if I find the candle at all.
So Amazing Toaster about to get payback by Dead Mountain. He got out of there, but he regretted and got in again, so he's gonna get payback so hard.
So have we seen what the other palace is? We've obviously got one in Great Palace on West. I don't believe we've seen the other one, or maybe I'm just not paying enough attention.
I believe you said there was a 3 or 6, but I don't know if it was on the John Bloody Thumb's stream. But yeah, I believe at some point you said that there was a 3 or 6 there.
Yeah, I'm thinking that was on John Bloody Thumb's incorrect seed, but I could be wrong. And another question, have we seen the raft tile yet? I haven't noticed
There it
it.
is.
I wouldn't
JJ Smith exploring the east. And it
I just
is kind of bootlocked, but he has the boots. I don't know when he picked them up. And there is New Kazuto, which you need the hammer to access. So it is right up north of the raft tile in the east.
Okay, during seed discussion, I thought they said that wasn't enabled, but I guess it is.
Yeah, I saw the flags and both were enabled. Three Eye Rock and Hidden Town. So JJ Schmidt getting into Naburu. Let's see if he gets water for the lady that doesn't need water anymore.
He does, just as he got the mirror in Saria. It's understandable. We are still adjusting to the new rules.
I believe he's too kind to the ladies. So that was shield, I believe, the spell. And the boots were in the grass tile, so I checked Rose City saying getting them, and well, I don't know if the other players have gotten there, but I believe some of them have.
Yeah, honestly, it's hard enough for me to run my own tracker on my own seat as I'm running it myself, let alone pay attention to 4 at once. So, major props for help with the tracker.
And thanks to the chat that is helping us constantly to check our mistakes. So Trails getting pivac'd at Palace 1. Meanwhile, there is Amazing Toaster exploring Palace 1 too, I believe.
It looks like Palace 1, but that palette is a lot darker. But again, that could just be differences in how they're playing it, differences in stream settings, things like that. So yes, it is either 3 or 6 that's on West with a nice radioactive looking palette there.
And Rose is saying at last getting the raft out of Medicine Cave. So Mr. JJ Schmidt finding the water tile. And it has the magic key, which is very useful.
Especially without that fairy spell yet. JJ hops on over to Maze Island. Gonna look for 2 items there that can appear anywhere on the path.
Yeah, we know that the boots are on Palace 4, but we don't know if the players know this yet. We don't know which players know this. So let's see what they find.
I just want to mention it's the gloves in Palace 4, not the boots. Amazing Toaster takes down Horsehead. He'll be placing his first gem. And RCS diving into one.
So
JJ
there's
does find the kid's hiding spot. See what he gets in this.
a
And a
bag. Yeah, this seed will have at least 3 extra pivacs because the spell items are removed, so they are replaced by 500 experience pivacs. So that is not weird to find so many of them.
by default, there's already 3 in the rotation. So we can expect to see, I believe, 6 tonight then, assuming everyone gets everything anyway.
And the second item is a heart container, so not a very, very, very generous Maze Island today.
But I'll still take a heart container if I'm still stuck at 4.
So I don't know if Trails got into Palace 1 and beat the boss. I'm pretty uncertain about that. Well, JJ Schmidt is getting into New Kasuto to get a free spell. Let's see what he gets.
So I do know Trails was in Palace 1, so I'd assume he got the kill, but I did not witness it myself either.
So JJ Schmidt got the spell of fire, which in this seed I believe it is linked to another spell.
That is correct. We're going to have to watch and see if he casts it to see what it is linked to.
Meanwhile, Amazing Toaster in Palace 6. In the loopy room, wow! That room is very funny to find. And he ups up an ace out of there. And well, I was talking about Amazing Toaster.
And that does confirm for us that it is Palace 3 that is very bubblegum flavored on Maze Island. So RCS does see the entrance to the Valley of Death. There's going to be a palace hidden in there somewhere. And JJ Schmidt walking by 3-Eye Rock. He's going to need to use the flute while standing in between each of the rocks to access the other palace.
Well, he finds the Pivot Cave in the east as a consolation prize. So let's see what awaits for him there.
Does take a punch to the face. Has to start the cave over.
So it is the hammer, which will allow him to get into New Kasuto, which he knows where it is. Also, he could get into Spectacle Rock if he wants to. An Amazing Toaster finding Palace 4, where we know the glove lies. So let's see if he finds it.
Got Trails slide showing his way into 3. As RCS picks up his magic key. And so the hammer-blocked cave on the west, we just confirmed as Trophy Cave. See what it has. Just a heart container. So in a typical seed, how many heart containers would you prefer to have to enter the Great Palace with?
I believe I can live with 5, but well, it depends also on my levels and the spells I have. But yeah, less than that, well, it's doable, but yeah, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, I'd have to go with 5 at a minimum. 6 I'm comfortable with.
So JJ Schmidt looking for the rock and he finds it. Let's see what the spectacle rock has for him. But he gets an encounter as soon as he touches the rock. And it is a magic container, which can be useful. He didn't get that far out of his way to get those 2 items. Well, he lost about, what, 3 minutes finding what the hammer blocked items were, so not that bad.
Yeah, pretty incredibly tame Death Mountain on tonight's seed. Both items pretty easily available. So we have Trails fighting Rebanak, the boss in Palace 3. Takes him down with the pogo stick strategy.
Well, JJ Schmidt finds his flute, which will allow him to enter the palace in the 3-eye rock, which is Palace 5 because Rose City Saint is in there, and walks out because, well, it's not the time for Palace 5. It should never be the time for Palace 5, but well, in these seats you have to enter there sooner or later.
Yeah, Palace 5 is absolutely no picnic. I've been fighting for a shortened 5 flag for a while. Probably not going to happen, but it would be nice. Just cut out like half the elevators in there. Still get what feels like a full palace.
So Rose City Saint getting into a Piva Cave. I believe he's gonna get the hammer, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it should be the hammer in there. I see he was already marked. It's all good though. Well, yep.
So fire is thunder. So wow, that's very interesting for a seed that is restreamed. We love to see the players abuse fire being linked to thunder.
Yeah, it's definitely significant that often changes players' leveling strategies so they favor magic to be able to cast that more.
And amazing toaster finding the item room. Oh no, sorry, I'm just telling lies. JJ Schmidt getting into the magic container lady's house. picking up a little digger.
Amazing Toaster does find the courtyard room. Not a complete seat if you don't find that. And JJ Schmidt does find the hidden town of New Kasuto. He's going to go grab a spell and potentially 2 items.
Yeah, and that potentially became just real because he got the spell. And that spell would be used to cast a spell at the spell location and arouse the spell thingy, which gives you an item. Wow, and Trails just entered Palace 5 and Guma was right there at the entrance to say hi. So he's gonna take on Guma on attack 4. Not ideal, but he's on it.
And JJ picking up a bag of rusty nickels, aka a 500-point bag from New Kasuto's hidden. We'll call it a house. Amazing Toaster takes down Rebanak.
So Trails is in Palace 5, Mr. Slayer Lightstorm, who is doing the tracking for us tonight. So kudos to you and thank you for supporting us in our job.
JJ getting a free magic refill on that desert tile.
Okay, so Amazing Toaster has the glove. We didn't see when he got it. I bet it was when he entered Palace 4. Trails is gonna pick his hammer in Piva Cave in the east.
And JJ finds the quick Guma. Very fortunate, especially considering all items required are already gotten. So can leave the entire rest of 5 just completely alone.
Yeah, what could come into play is that we don't know which players know where the glove is. So that is very interesting about helpful hints, that there may be some players that don't get those hints because, well, they want to do things fast or because they just forgot one of the locations of the hint. So we'll see how the players act around this because, well, as you said, we already know where all the required items are, but we don't know if the players know that the glove is in 4.
So, got Alakazam trainer asking why 5 is so disliked.
So yeah, I'm gonna share Duster W's feelings about Palace 5 with you. Well, first of all, it is huge. That palace is very big. And also the layout of that palace most of the times make you go for this for the item to the far left and for the boss to the far right. So you spend long periods of time in there. So it is a very tedious palace. And well, in most cases, you're gonna want to enter there having all the items. So you just have to look for the boss because, well, searching for the item in Palace 5 can be a nightmare.
Yes, thank you for that. A little bit of unnecessary background noise on my end, so I do apologize for that.
I think you kids also hate Palace 5, so that's what happened there.
Yeah, we'll go with that. But yeah, as has been summed up, it's just a slog to get through, and then a absolute brute of a boss. Hits like a truck, has crazy health.
And the hitbox of his weapon is huge too. So sometimes you don't even get hit visually, but you get hit. So yeah, sometimes it is a little bit unfair to fight him.
Yeah, for the longest time, I would just go in there, hit him once, bounce out, and just have to do that 40, 50 times per fight sometimes. So I actually spent about 2 to 3 hours just save state practicing that fight, just that fight, and gotten pretty comfortable with it at this point.
Yeah, that fight can be very embarrassing when you start racing, and especially if you're getting restreamed and you game over several times to that boss. It can be very frustrating. So yeah, you have to get good at that fight.
So JJ did pick something up off of the desert tile, but I missed what it was. But Rose City Saint is right behind him, so we'll see it here in just a sec. And just a magic container. Well, I say just a magic container, but again, with thunder being linked to fire, or fire being linked to thunder, however you want to say it, all the magic you can get is going to be insanely helpful. And we've got RCS showing off glitch pretty similar to Zelda 1's screen wrapping. We call it fairy feet. Basically, it's get to the edge of the screen, do a 1 frame tap till you disappear, and press the opposite direction, and you'll exit the level. He is in Darunia getting the upstab technique, and he will be grabbing a spell here momentarily. And apparently Trails is right in front of him. So Amazing Toaster took down Guma, placed his second gem.
So at this moment, who do you think has the advantage? Is the most probable winner at this point?
It's a tough call because, I mean, it doesn't matter how many gems you place, it only matters when you defeat Dark Link. So it's hard to go by that metric. Going off of exploration, I'd have to give the advantage to either Trails or Rose City Saint. But it just, I don't know, there's still so much that can happen, so much uncertainty left.
Well, Rosette is saying he's entering Palace 4, so we know he's gonna find the glove in there. We don't know if he knows if it is there, but well, he will get it because, well, he still needs to get some items.
And he does have the Reflect spell as well, and is aware that fire is thunder. So this should be a fairly quick palace, and he'll be able to place his next gem. But he does hit the typical dead end. JJ coming across the very required room in Palace 6.
So Rose City Saint finding the item room, and he gets his glove.
And abusing the fire thunder the whole way through. And that is the second of 3 right side dead ends in Palace 4 for RCS.
And there's the third one.
And quick up A because he knows which left he has to take now.
Meanwhile, JJ Smith finding the item room in Palace 6. We know it is not anything necessary in there, so we'll see what it is. Could be a hard container, magic container, payback. And it is a payback.
I believe Trails is in Palace 4 as well.
Yeah, so very straightforward seed this time. I believe the West was a little bit tricky to explore. Players took quite a bit of time finding things like the grass, tile, and several other stuff. But the items you've got, the players have gotten have been very easy to find. So far, very straightforward seed.
Trails picking up the glove. He does also have the raft and the boots. An amazing toaster confirming that it is 2 in Death Valley, which by process of elimination we have known at this point.
So that was a very long Palace 4 for Rose City Sane. Palace 4 tends to be kind of quick, but this time it was kind of trolly for him. So yeah, defeating Karok of Palace 4 and placing his gem there.
So 6 seems to be giving JJ Schmidt a little bit of trouble. He's been in there for a fair bit of time, but it can be pretty confusing too. Just not as bad as 5.
An amazing toaster finding the fake boss room in Palace 2. So yeah, this seed is really validated. All the checkpoints have been fulfilled.
So yeah, we actually have a pretty close race amongst all our on-stream competitors at this point. Again, if I had to give an advantage at this point, I'd give it to probably RCS, just on account of he's getting to 2 a bit quicker than Trails.
So we've got...
Sorry, I'm looking at Amazing Toaster's tracker. He has Helmet Head marked, but he did in fact beat Guma in Palace 5. Has not beaten Helmet Head in 2 just yet, but he will very shortly. And I'm fairly certain he also has the boots and the flute. And I think with that, the tracker should be complete. Yeah, I can definitely confirm Toaster does have the flute because he's required to enter Palace 5.
So Amazing Toaster finding Helmet Head. Gonna face him and defeat him. So we've got Rose City Sane and Trails on Palace 2. Let's see how quick Rose City Sane finds Helmet Head, because he's been a little while in this palace. I believe he's in the right way.
Yeah, should be in this next room actually, and yes it is. Okay, so I expect we're going to see RCS do a quick up A. Or no, he has not done 3 yet, so...
Yeah, it's Maze Island time.
Okay, I'll do Maze Island, then quick up A, knock out 6, and he's on his way to the GP. So I think Trails is actually probably going to get to GP first because he has already taken care of 3.
I haven't seen the fights with Barba in any of our players. I don't know if I'm oblivious to what has happened, but I haven't seen anyone fight Barba so far.
At this point, nobody has, with 6 being on the west with the GP as well.
That is correct, yeah. That is a very good reason they haven't.
I forget how quickly they can potentially get through 3, so we may still have a fair race. And JJ finding what we've dubbed the RCS room.
What is that? The fake boss room? Which is that room?
Yeah, it's the fake boss room in 2.
Yeah, I believe he's the one that is the most vocal about that room. We all hate it, but he hates it the most.
I don't know, I think I'm pretty well tied up there with him. So RCS is in Palace 3, about to take down the boss there. And JJ comes across the item room in 2. And Trails is diving on into 6. If I had to guess, I'd say RCS is about 45 seconds behind Trails.
And JJ Smith in the room right next to Helmet Head. He's gonna finish that palace soon too.
And I would have expected an up A from RCS. I'm not quite sure what he's doing. Looks like he's going to back into Palace 5 for some reason. I'm wondering if he just forgot.
Yeah, that is weird.
I guess maybe he could be looking for the item, hoping for a heart container. I don't know. I'm genuinely confused.
Yeah, I'm totally dumbfounded here, so yeah. No idea at all what he's doing in there. But I believe we saw him fight Guma. Wow, that's weird.
I guess, yeah, maybe he hasn't beaten Guma. It's being pointed out by Rayman in chat that his tracker is not showing it. Fortunately, we do know it is a quick race to the boss. And yeah, just confirmed he does have 2 gems to place. So RCS has beaten 1 through 4, is about to beat 5.
Oh yeah. I just remembered. Yeah, he hasn't fought Guma. Yeah, he was never gonna enter Palace 5 without needing it. He's that kind of player. So at this moment, Mr. Trails has a very big lead, I believe. Let's see how Palace 6 treats him, but yeah, he's pretty much ahead at this moment.
And Palace 6 treats him real well as he's already at Barba. So yeah, Trails is going to be entering GP in probably the next 40 seconds here.
So we haven't seen so much abuse of Fire Thunder so far. Well, I've seen Pro City saying do it quite a bit, but it hasn't been that excessive as always.
Yeah, that's one of his favorite combinations, so I'm surprised we haven't seen more of it.
The other weird thing is that these guys found Guma immediately, and Rose City Sane is just exploring the whole palace at this moment. So that is weird also.
So as far as I know, JJ is up to date on everything. I think he's making his way to 3 right now, or 5 rather. And I'm sorry again, not 5. Just ignore me. I'm not paying enough attention.
So Trail's going for Great Palace. Let's see what this Great Palace deals to him and how he reacts.
He's taking a large number of encounters on the way there, but should be there. Maybe he has lost it.
Yeah, that tends to happen.
I have a real bad tendency to misplace palaces all the time.
Yeah, these days I take notes because, well, it's pretty embarrassing to be seen going around and around looking for something. But, well, he finds it, and he enters Great Palace at 1 hour, 5 minutes, 56 seconds.
And I don't know about you, but I'm certainly craving a tangerine right about now.
Yeah, I have some in my house, so I'll take one as soon as this race finishes.
Oh, and a
Wow.
very quick Thunderbird.
That tends to be bad news because, well, in the logic of this game, if you find as Thunderbird is required, that means that Thunderbird, that Dark Link is hiding behind Thunderbird anywhere in the palace. So if you get an early Thunderbird, that means that the whole Great Palace is behind that Thunderbird. So yeah, this will be probably a very trolly palace. So we'll see.
Okay, so RCS enters 6. You know, I've got Amazing Toaster fighting the first Rebanak in there. Trails masterfully takes down Thunderbird. Beautiful fight there. So we've got Amazing Toaster fighting Barba now in Palace 6. JJ Schmidt about to pick up the glove in 4, which he does.
And Trails takes the Eon drop without thinking about it. He doesn't even look to the right to see what is there. He just falls into it. So let's see. And that leads him to the L7 rune on the bottom. So pretty risky. Trails tends to take a lot of risks in Great Palace, and in the Max Random tournament they have favored him those risks. So let's see what he finds. He finds another drop. So yeah, taking a lot of drops with an early Thunderbird is not a bad idea at all.
But it does lead him to a dead end. Not a big deal just as of yet. And Rose City Saint fighting Rebanak, so he's just a couple rooms behind Amazing Toaster. Will be taking on Barba pretty shortly. And depending on how Great Palace treats Trails, this could still be quite a race between those two.
So to answer the question of Kyodishin, I don't know if that's the way to pronounce it or if it is another way, but you're asking if you wonder if the Canadian Hall is in Rando, and yeah, it is in Rando, and sometimes you have to jump it without the jump spell, so it could be very trolly. So Rose City Saint facing Barba and about to get into Great Palace at any moment. So Trails is getting his ass kicked in this waffle room in Great Palace. The amount of lag he's gonna face in some moments is just ridiculous, because those 3 birds are more than the game can take.
I can't quite remember who to attribute the quote to, but one of my favorite quotes about rooms like that is, well, that's when I skip the Waffle House and go to IHOP.
So yeah, still anyone's race because, well, we know for sure that Rose City Saint is not gonna take the same path that Trails took because, well, Rose City Saint is a very different kind of player who explores in a very straightforward way. So yeah, this can be anyone's race, and Amazing Toaster Jazz enters Great Palace, so this race just got very, very, very tight. So tonight we've got two of the finalists, of the semi-finalists of the Max Random tournament. Those are JJ Schmidt and Trails, who are gonna face each other in these following days in a 2 out of 3 match. So I hope the best one wins. Meanwhile, Amazing Toaster and Rose City Saint having a Thunderbird dance simultaneously, while JJ Schmidt is in Palace 3 finishing his business with Ribonek.
RCS getting very aggressive with Thunderbird. He usually likes to take it a little easier, but I suspect he might feel like he's a little bit behind. Trails back onto typical meta for Great Palace. And that's whenever you can, take a right. And yes, Slayer Ribonak is the Palace 3 boss. Oh, but apparently Eon is the solution, because we've already seen the fairy room.
Yeah, so in this moment, Rose City Saint, the players are completely tied. The only advantage that Trails has is that he has explored the palace more thoroughly, but they are almost in the same spot. So yeah, very, very tight 3-way race at this moment.
So Toaster takes the Eon drop. Drops him onto the top of the L7 room. Meanwhile, RCS is at the bottom, which now Toaster is right there as well.
Yeah, the 3 players are 1 rune away from each other, so wow. I believe that's the first time I've seen this in a race. Very exciting.
On a completely unrelated note, it feels like one of my teeth is about to fall out.
Wow. Yeah, so Trails and Rose City Saint in the same room, dealing with the lag. And the orange birds who only take 1 hit. Meanwhile, JJ Schmidt is facing his last boss, Barba, before entering Great Palace. So this Great Palace is the Great equalizers, so this could be a four-way tight race in any moment.
Yes, again, Trails has the advantage of exploration, but he kind of gambled and went off meta, so that may not even be an advantage at this point.
So I believe we've seen almost all the drops, right? We've seen Neon drop, we've seen the L7 drop, we've seen at least one of the glove required drops.
I believe there's 3 drops we have not yet seen, and I want to say... I don't know what I want to say.
Yeah, Great Palace leaves you ward this lots of times, so... Rose City is saying below Jakimu's room, Amazing Toaster in Jakimu's room, finding dead ends. Yeah, this is a very, very tricky Great Palace. Well, as I said earlier, having an early Thunderbird in a Thunderbird required cities, well, it is very, very... It leads you
Finds
to...
Dark Link.
Yeah, so we can safely say that Trails is gonna finish in first place, so best luck for him.
Slight chance that Dark Link will be extra trolly and game over him. But as of now, we do have all 4 racers in the Great Palace at the same time. And with that, Trails does take first place. An official SRL time, 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 12 seconds. So GG to Trails. We're going to see if we can get him in here for an interview.
So JJ Schmidt finding Thunderbird. And Amazing Toaster and Rose City Saint taking drops all over the place.
JJ Schmidt and Amazing Toaster giving each other a high five as they pass each other there. Toaster nearly knocked into the lava, but quickly saves himself with the fairy spell.
So yeah, this Great Palace, wow. Anyone has a chance at this moment to get second place, man. It's unbelievable how how equalizing this great palace is.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Trails, good game.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Dude, I was in that Great Palace for like 15 minutes. I was
Wow.
full dig shake in like 30, 35 minutes.
Yeah, you were the first one to enter Great Palace, and you had a very big lead. However, the risks you took at the beginning of the palace didn't seem to pay off, and Rose City Saint and Amazing Toaster just got in there, and they were in the same rooms that you were. However, you had the knowledge of the rooms you had explored, so thankfully you found Darkling soon. But well, it was anyone's race. There were parts where 3 players were at the same room at the same time, so wow, and now the other 3 players that we have featured are in the same situation. There are 2 in the same room, that is the waffle room with the 3 birds that lags a lot the game, and yeah, well, the second place is anyone's chance in this moment, because wow, this Great Palace is weird, man. It's very, very equalizing. So what do you think about this Great Palace, Trails?
It was a you know, like a standard basic one. I mean, not one that I'm not unfamiliar with. It's all about making the proper left-hand turn, because like, you know, you're forced to go right, or going right is the proper way to go. But you get all these branches to the left, and you have to choose the right left-hand branch, and that's it's just crazy. Yeah, that waffle room, man. All that lag, it was ridiculous, man. And they have to go downstairs. From there, they have to go to the next room, go downstairs, and then go left. If you go right, you end up at the go upstairs, and I think a fun room downstairs and over and up into the Jackamus room or something.
Well, and let me tell you, we just got a simultaneous fight in Darkling from Rose City Saint and Amazing Toaster, and Rose City Saint just pulled off his second place with just a 5-second lead over Amazing Toaster. So yeah, that was quite the snipe. And well, this was quite the Great Palace. So yeah, we've got Rose City Saint finished in second place with a time of 1 hour, 23 minutes and 23 seconds, and Amazing Toaster just 5 seconds behind. So yeah, GG to the guys.
Yeah,
And
GG. Hey, was I being restreamed? I saw something about John Bloody Thumbs not playing the proper seed or something.
Yeah, however, he just finished the seed in 4th place with a time of 1 hour, 24 minutes.
Which is pretty amazing.
We don't know if he played, yeah, because well, he had to change the seed. Yeah,
so was that being restreamed?
Yeah, we get over to you after we figured out he was playing the wrong seed.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Yeah, that seed was nuts.
Any final thoughts about this seed?
Nah, I mean, it was just a standard seed. I feel like it was pretty friendly. Yeah, I was by the time I got the hammer and everything, I got the glove, and I got the. Thank God I didn't have to dig 5 for the glove or anything. I gambled on 5. I figured I could come back and get it if I had to. But after getting like the reflect spell and then finding glove in 4, I was just, you know, punch forward, you know.
Right, and we do have Rose City Saint here. Good game.
Yeah, GG, Rose City.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it, and good game to you, Trails.
Thank you.
That was interesting. A couple of things that really cost me some time there was I misplayed 5 very badly. If you just went right 2 rooms, you were at Guma. I went all the way down that elevator, and I did a pretty full clear of 5. And also, I kind of had a hard time locating Darunia for Reflect. I totally missed the area where the River Devil was, so I started diving caves. and that contributed to a couple of minutes of time lost too.
Yeah, I had an issue finding Darunia as well. And when I gambled on 5, I hadn't had the glove yet, so I left 5 not knowing if the glove was in there or not. And then when I found it in 4, I was like, "Phew! I don't have to go back there."
That's funny you say that because I got the hint very early from the lady at King's Tomb that the glove was in 4, so that really helped me. If I didn't know that, I would be in very bad shape.
Yeah, thank God, man. Thank God I found that glove.
Yeah, no kidding. I was relieved when I found the hammer because at that point I was still hoping that Reflect might be in Nukasudo, but unfortunately that didn't work out, so the hunt for Darunia continued.
Yeah, I never found Nukasudo.
That was right near the raft spot. It was in the forest tile just north of the raft spot.
Yeah, it was over by 2.
Yeah, I was banking on glove being in Nukasudo, and then I stumbled on the 4 and said, I'll full clear it. There's no reason why I shouldn't. And then I stumbled onto the glove there.
Yeah, if I remember, you stumble across the item room in 4 before the boss, so that wasn't a stretch that anyone going in there would have found the glove. But I was just glad that I had the hint. That saved me from doing things like hunting around in Maze Island. I didn't get either Maze Island item. I don't know if I even got the desert tile. I don't remember. But I was, willing to skip a lot of stuff because I knew exactly where that glove was.
Desert Tile was on the way to Darunia.
Was it? Yeah, I may have hit it up. If it was a magic container, I think I remember that.
Yeah.
Very nice. What a close race this was, huh?
Yeah, that was 5 seconds, man. Jeez.
Well, yeah. Trails took it by, about 5 minutes or so. But then second, third, and fourth place were all within 30 seconds. Yeah, insane.
Guys,
Man, I was in GP for like 10 or 15 minutes, dude. It was either left in the Jackmas room or left at the bottom of that elevator, and I took the left at the bottom of the elevator.
Yeah, that was not a real friendly GP. That was another one that involved a sort of inconspicuous left about halfway through to get you there. Those are naturally going to be unkind to my style of play.
I think I full cleared it.
No kidding, right?
yeah, so guys, I just wanted to tell you first, GG, Amazing Toaster, who is with us tonight, and well, congratulations, because you cannot even imagine what it was in that great palace for us that we're seeing all of you. So Trails got a very big lead in entering Great Palace, but then, the decisions he took forced him to start over again, and when he started, both Amazing Toaster and Rose City Saint entered the palace at that moment, and there were like at least 2 minutes where you guys were in the same rooms at the same time, the 3 players. Trails just had the advantage of having the knowledge, so that's why he found Darkling first, but it was very, very nerve-wracking for us, the viewers, because that Great Palace was really the big equalizer. It was the most valuable player of this set. It was amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead, Trails.
I'm just glad I didn't restart and didn't have to re-clear some of those rooms.
I think, the GP was kind of trolly, but I think all in all, it was a pretty friendly seed. I wish I would have gotten that hint for 4, the glove being in 4.
That helped me a lot. Hint. Yeah, I'd probably finish in 5th place tonight if I didn't, because I made a couple of other really big mistakes. I think I cleared that GP in 1 CC without hitting up an A when I entered GP. I'm not sure, but I might as well have, because I did 2 full laps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going down that rabbit hole, and I said, you know what? I didn't even go right of the whatchamacallit. I didn't even go right of the Eon drop. I took the Eon drop. The first play I made, as soon as I saw that room after T-Bird, I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to take the Eon drop, and I did.
Did you go past the Eon drop on your second time around, or what?
Yeah, I did, and saw the fairy room.
I'm glad to hear that, because it's one thing to have, just have a little courage and take the Eon drop. If you bypass it a second time, that would just be insane.
So one thing I noticed, RCS, was that you didn't seem to be abusing the fire thunder as much as I would have expected.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure that out, and I did abuse it to some degree, but yeah, I guess I was more concerned with life because I only had the 4 heart containers. So I was just sort of pogoing over everything and then abusing life as necessary. I do have fun with Thunderfire. I don't know. It didn't completely jive with me in this seed. I was really upset when fire wasn't paired with reflect to begin with. I was already salty.
Yeah, I think I only had 5 heart containers. Their heart containers are well hidden, probably in 5 in Death Mountain.
I see JJ has 7, so that's pretty remarkable.
Yes, and JJ is fighting Dark Link now. And do you have any final thoughts on this seed, Amazing Toaster?
It was pretty simple. I mean, the hints really helped a lot to cut down on unnecessary exploration.
I have a thought. I don't know. Maybe the commentators can tell me if I put myself behind early in the game, because I did some diving around Death Mountain thinking that I needed to use it as a connector, and I completely forgot about using Fairy Cave as a connector. Was I behind in the early game?
Yeah, I think you were a little behind everyone at the beginning of the game. Well, the Dead Mountain checking for Hammer Cave was also done by Amazing Toaster, I believe, but yeah, definitely at the beginning of the game you were a little bit behind.
Yeah, when I found the second entrance to Death Mountain, the first cave you look in was Hammer Cave, and that turned out to be a garbage pee bag. But yeah, when I was going through there early in the game, I wasn't looking for an item. I was trying to find a connector to get to the other side of the mountain.
Yeah, and a Spectacle Rock was a hard container, so yeah, that was Dead Mountain today, and Maze Island wasn't generous either.
What was Maze Island? Just some heart containers, maybe?
A hard container and a pee bag. Same as...
Oh boy, am I really glad I didn't look around there. I contemplated looking around for the items. I would have finished 2 places worse if I had, so...
It wasn't a terribly
Yeah.
complex Maze Island.
No, yeah, I just wasn't willing to invest any more time.
And we also have John Bloody Thumbs here, who was with us at the start of the race, but due to the wrong seed, we wound up switching for Trails. What were your thoughts on this seed?
Last question. It's after I get the
What? Seem to be having trouble hearing you.
I just want to thank, too, Slayer Lightstorm for agreeing to help us with the tracking tonight. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, that was really cool, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
And
this was a real track for sure, but much appreciated.
And Slayer, if you're ever looking to play the game yourself, Trails is available on a 24-hour basis for your racing needs.
Oh, well, you can see today that it paid off all that practice that Trails has. So congratulations to Trails, because, well, winning a weekly isn't a small feat. So, yeah, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely, Trails. Congrats. That's always a good feeling. One I haven't had in a pretty long time. So, good game to you. All in all, I think I played sort of badly today. Made a couple of big mistakes. So, I'm relieved to have second place.
Yeah, I feel like I made a couple bad plays too. And GP really had its way with me.
Yeah, totally.
But hey, man, thank you. Good game, and thank you guys for racing, and thanks Speed Gaming for streaming us, and thank you Victor and Duster for helping out with commentary.
Definitely, it's always a pleasure, Victor and Duster. Appreciate it.
The pleasure is ours, and it is a great pleasure for me also to share booth with this guy, Duster W. He's a very nice guy and very knowledgeable about this game. So, yeah, I think we're gonna wrap up. I don't know if John Bloody Thumbs has solved his audio problems. So yeah, I just wanna say that well, we're on the semifinals of the Max Randa tournament. So we've got Trails and JJ Schmidt facing off for one place at the final, and that will happen soon. And also we've got Dick Shake, the creator of this game, and Yunus facing in the other bracket. So you cannot miss that. So you can be aware of this tournament. Also, well, we're gonna keep doing this Thursday weekly races on Speed Gaming. So yeah, thank you again to Speed Gaming and their team, their streamers, and well, thanks again to Slayer Lightstorm for the tracking. And well, yeah, I think we can wrap this up. Any final thoughts, Mr. Daster W?
Nothing super special. Just again, GG. That was an awesome race. Everyone played really solidly. It was really fun to watch and commentate on, and I appreciate having you here in the booth with me.
Okay, so good night, Knights. We'll see you again next Thursday. Don't miss it. If you want to know anything about Zelda 2 Randomizer, you can check these runners. Especially, you can check Trails on Discord, in the Zelda 2 Randomizer Discord, and you can check the stream of Rosie the same, because when he plays this game, he explains every detail of what he does. So it is a very, very enlightening experience. So you can check that out if you are interested in playing this randomizer. That is amazing. We love it. So good night, everyone, and we'll see you again next week.
Yep, and have a good night, everyone.
So the Alan Heffley just tells us that the summer tourney registration of the normal Zelda 2 randomizer tournament is open. So there's